What a beautiful charge!
Whoa,
This is
what
fine. Oh my god, it's
What a save!
okay.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. We're here for yet another Ori and the Blind Forest tournament match between SmashyLe and Cleanfel. This game will be coming from the Spirit Caverns group. I'm Lurking Assassin, and joined with me with commentary is the Roos is Loose. Hello, Roos. How are you doing? Well, it appears Roos could possibly not be here for a second, so I'm gonna start with introducing these players. So first off, we're gonna have Cleanfel. Cleanfel is actually he's a pretty good runner. His PB is a 39.14, and with a tournament best time of 39.59. And he's actually like he's actually new to the game. He's only been practicing for about a month or so, and PB'd many times, and he's been showing some really good times for such a new player.
Hello, how's it going, Lurking?
Hello.
I think I got my mic fixed. Sorry about that.
Alright, that's cool. So if you want to go ahead and introduce SmashyLe to us.
SmashyLe is getting to the point of being a pretty old veteran at this point, has played the game and been around it for quite a while. Has a pretty solid PB there, as you can see, 33.45. That is a huge improvement over the last tournament. I think that's about 10 minutes cut off of the PB she submitted. Keyboard and mouse runner, going for pretty much all the tricks, and will be taking 6 health. And has done quite a bit of Ori tasking, so she has a lot of very like detailed knowledge of the run in terms of like it takes exactly this many frames to do this trick, things like that. So hopefully she can leverage that into a pretty strong run today.
Right, and I believe we're gonna be starting with the game pretty soon, so just hold tight, and I think the game should be starting any minute now. So before we get into the game, Bruce, what are you excited to see in this game?
Well, you know, given the difference in PBs, I'm not expecting necessarily an upset with Clean winning. That would be quite the upset indeed. But I know SmashyLe's been on a lot, getting a lot of PBs lately. Like she went from like 35 to suddenly 34 to suddenly 33. So if she can repeat that and suddenly drop down to the 32, that would be really amazing. And out of Clean, I know Clean as a somewhat newer runner, like you're always liable to like suddenly have a huge burst of improvement when you're new to the game. So like, or it would be a double PB out of both of these guys.
I would love to see a double PB in this race. Anyways, the game just started, and the runners did their prologue skip, and they're about to get started with their run.
And to start off with, you're just going to see some very basic running and jumping. The players do not have a whole lot of movement options available to them at the beginning of the game, as this is a Metroidvania. But as we go along and collect all the skills necessary to complete the category, your movement will get more and more complex, more and more difficult, and more flashy. And it won't take long to get there. Click to grab Sign, which of course will go through the fight with the Frankies shortly, and then our players will be into the run proper.
Yeah, and while we're watching the Sign cutscene, it's just an interesting thing to put out that SmashyLe is using a color code, while Cleanfel specifically told me he will not use any color codes this game because he just doesn't like them.
Yeah, I very intentionally avoid the color codes myself. Like, I've a couple of times, you know, in Glades where you have this dark purple background, I've gotten a purple colored Ori. It just turns you invisible, and it makes it really hard to play. So, especially in races, I actively avoid it. But I know a lot of players really like to go for those color codes.
Yeah. I believe that happened in a race yesterday where one of the runners just kept getting a color that blends with whatever background he's in, and it was pretty frustrating to watch, let alone play with it.
Yeah, and of course, it gives you a random color, so you really have no control over it. So it looks like SmashyLe's fight was slightly cleaner. I know she goes for the scroll wheel shooting. You can see where when she fires, the 2 lasers come out like almost at the exact same time, indicating the scroll wheel technique is being used.
Cheating method.
But it is really just like pretty much tied anyway. Clean is maybe about half a hop behind. You can see both of them setting up their HP nicely for the Ghost Door coming up, trying to keep track of their experience so they can take their time level up when they get to wall jump later. But it is pretty much frame tied at the keystone. Yes. Holy cow, look at this.
Oh my god.
This is completely synced up right now.
SmashyLe did have a little bit cleaner damage boost through that slime, but instead of being like 2 frames ahead, she's now like 5 frames ahead or something.
Yeah, I mean, that can instantly evaporate at any time, but if she can keep this slightly cleaner play up, she can start to extend that lead a little bit. Both of them grabbing the safety 4th health cell. Very, very smart decision for probably 99% of the racers in this tournament. Only the very, very tip-top people can make a good argument for going to 3 All right, SmashyLe having just a little bit of a better time dropping through that elbow area there. Picked up a few seconds there and can hopefully start to extend that lead a little bit with that cleaner play she's getting.
Yeah, like that section is like what separates a good time from a bad time in this specific segment, because it is like very hard. It's kind of floor drop to get through, and it has to be very precise, or else you're gonna hit into the slimes and just you kind of stuck between them and just getting hit by them over and over again.
Yeah, your timing on those drop throughs to dodge all the slimes correctly and stuff is definitely more difficult than you would initially give it credit for. Looks like SmashyLe's continuing to have slightly better drops down into the wall jump area, so she's extended her lead out to maybe 10 to 12 seconds. But again, not necessarily the end of the race at all.
Yeah, that's pretty much one small mistake away. So.
One of the things I really like about this run is the way it sort of goes through phases. Like, you know, at the very beginning here, the very precise optimization phase where all you have is just a hop, and now we have a wall jump. So the players have to just really do a lot with a little. But as our skills start to grow, there's several like distinct phases throughout the run where it requires a different skill set as it goes along. And ooh, SmashyLe got the Trojan log, but very skillfully met it in midair and managed to jump off it anyway. That once that log gets to swinging, it can give you a lot of trouble getting up it.
Yeah, I definitely lost a lot of seconds just trying to get back on it, but it just gets very difficult when it's swinging around. Now we just see them going towards BRB, just casually hopping and wall jumping across some different platforms.
And the players will be coming up to the Blackroot Burrows section, the newest new area of the game added in Definitive Edition. They're going here to get the dash skill, of course, which if you've been around for this tournament, you know and love because it's really the key to going fast in this game. SmashyLe getting her save anywhere set up nice and cleanly so that she can skip the cutscene on her way in. Cleanfel now working his way in, breaking a few brambles, and will be setting up the SA himself. So the lead really in this last segment has not changed much. It's about the same as it was at the wall jump tree. Very nicely done by both of these runners to get that section nice and cleanly.
But this is an area where I think the lead could very easily change because it's all cycle based. So if you have some bad movement, you could lose up to 8 seconds very easily, or gain up to 8 seconds. So we could see like SmashyLe expanding her lead or Cleanfel catching back up.
Yeah, not only is it very cycle based, so you can very easily lose time in large segments, but we are low on energy here, like really, really low. So the ability to take safety saves is pretty limited here. You can see Cleanfel using the one he's going to get to before he hops across these spikes here. Definitely don't think that's too bad of a decision. SmashyLe, I don't think, has put one down yet, or she may have put one down when she leveled up at the 100 orb.
I did not see a save.
Being catastrophic deaths.
She might be trying to do the cycle manipulation, possibly.
Almost jumps into a laser there, but manages to avoid it and get out of it just fine. Nicely done.
Clean did have a kind of a slow orb drop, so that could hurt him more than you would think. Alright, and now we just saw SmashyLe manipulating some more cycles by waiting for a few seconds, and so she could manipulate the cycles in this room and the other room so she could just save as many frames. And as we mentioned earlier, this area is very dark and very spiky, and Cleanfel actually fell in one of the spikes, and thankfully he did have a safety save, but it still lost him a good amount of time there, as he's going through these insta-kill lasers as well. After just a few more platforms, SmashyLe will get to her we'll get to the darkness cutscene skip, and we'll see how that goes for her.
And you can really see how much of this area is completely based on cycles. These slow bobbing platforms, there's really no way to speed them up other than just making a faster cycle than the one you got. So It's really, really hard to optimize this section and improve the time you get on it at all.
Yeah, like the best you could do is sometimes there's like these small micro optimizations, or you could do save and resets that reset the cycles and could actually be faster with some scenarios. And sadly, Clean did miss his jump on that platform. He was a little bit too late to get to it, and that cost him 8 seconds, as we mentioned before.
That is unfortunate, but because it's all based on cycles, he only loses the time of one cycle, which is about 8 seconds, so he'll be doing all right. SmashyLe has dash and is rapidly heading out of Blackroot Burrows and moving on to her Frankie Walk trick. Now, this is a super dangerous area of the run because we need every single bit of energy we have to do a sequence break on the door coming up. We can't afford any safety saves, so any deaths for the next about a minute to a minute and a half will send SmashyLe all the way back to the dash tree. It's really, really bad to take a death there. So if Clean's going to get a chance to come back in, it would be very easy for it to happen if SmashyLe takes a death here.
And that's what we mean by, like, the lead is still not substantial. A small mistake from SmashyLe right now could actually put Clean in the lead. So.
And especially because SmashyLe's about to go through some very dangerous sections. She's going to open this door with the energy sequence break, and she's going to have to go through some poison water here and kill some enemies before she can get out of it. So if you get stuck in the water here, you can have a really bad time. There's a frog here that's about to stomp her. She dodges it nicely.
She got past the hardest part.
Very nice. Get this one last crusher, and once she gets to that energy cell there, she will be free to take a save, and she's through the death gauntlet. Very nicely done. Now on the right-hand side, you can see Clean is going to be taking the same attempt at the Frankie Walk sequence break, and we'll see if he's able to do it as well as SmashyLe was.
And while he's doing that, we could check if SmashyLe is going to get the Grot cycle and Grotto. She waits a little bit, jumps up, and she gets through. That's a big time save for her.
That is not an easy cycle to make. It's very, very tight. It requires super, super clean movement and timing. Dodges across the little crushers there, and she made it look really easy. So nicely done to SmashyLe. All right, let's look on the right-hand side.
Let's see how Clean does with the whole Frankie sequence.
Okay, he's got the door open nicely. He now has to get through the poison water. On the left-hand side, you can see SmashyLe coming to double jump. She'll do a little bit of blind movement to skip a cutscene. Cleanfel in the poison, in the death gauntlet. Looks like he's through most of the obstacles, just has to survive these brambles here. It looks like he's taking it nice and safe and killing all of them before he jumps through there. Looks like he should be safe as long as he takes it safe.
And he's
very nice. Looks like SmashyLe got her blind movement pretty well, so she's now continuing through the Interginso split. This is one that is pretty hard to optimize because you can see that there's just a ton of jumping over these very uneven walls, and that's not cosmetic. Like, all those little notches and ridges in the walls actually do affect how you jump off of them. So if you want to do this split quickly and have every single little nook in that wall memorized and know just the right way to jump on it. And she goes for a little sequence break there by jumping off a specific spot on that wall. Got it, looked like about third try, so not too bad.
It was fourth try specifically, but that's not that bad. It's only a few seconds.
Cleanfel taking a death to open the ghost door there and continues down to double jump. Lead is probably on the order of about 30 to 40 seconds right now. There's plenty of mistakes in this game that cost more than 30 or 40 seconds, so see a tight race at any given time.
We see Cleanfel also going for that blind movement. Well, SmashyLe skipped her own cutscene over at the top of that area. Alright, well, SmashyLe is through there and she's almost to the Ginso tree, and now Cleanfel is starting to head towards his own Ginso entrance split, which is full of wall jumps. Let's see how B does with these wall jumps, and see if he could have a better time than SmashyLe did going up there.
Yeah, if he can get a first try grotto skip, he'll definitely make up a little time. Each of those attempts at grotto skip is not too costly on its own, but it took her 4 attempts. So, if each one was 3 seconds, suddenly that's, almost 10 seconds that he can make up right here.
And he did get it first try.
It's super easy. Nicely done. SmashyLe is about to make her way through, sort of the last...
Save was a little bit... Cleanfel's save was a little bit too far. I think he's going to have to go through the boulders.
Oh no. Okay, so he's going for a cutscene skip here. And the cutscene skip has the effect of preventing these dangerous boulders that fall down the shaft from spawning. And he doesn't look like he's quite sure what to do about this. Most runners, you know, it's pretty easy to get this cutscene skip, but if you do mess it up, a lot of runners wouldn't necessarily know this. So he may just have to accept that he's going to have to do this section of boulders. Now, each of these boulders does 1 damage, and he has about 4 HP right now.
He just has to take it slowly, and I think he could get through it.
You can see how random these boulders are. Very hard to react to this pattern and get through it quickly.
He's gotten through like half of it without taking any damage, so he's making some good progress through those boulders.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well here, dodging quite expertly. Actually, this is better than I would be able to handle this. I know, like,
this is.
I've gotten these boulders accidentally. Oh yeah, a few times I've gotten those boulders accidentally. I've just like died and reset the run immediately. Yeah. On the left-hand side, you can see SmashyLe's in the Ginso tree, the first and only major dungeon we'll be doing in this speed run. There are 3 in the game, but we'll completely bypass 2 of them. This dungeon is cool because it has a lot of these difficult, like high-flying jumps in between platforms, with lots of very like long drops back to the bottom of the rooms if you mess any of them up.
It does have
so it's definitely a section.
It's definitely full of like verticality and vertical movement.
So much verticality. And looks like she's really handling this quite well. I mean, I know SmashyLe's been putting in a lot of practice lately. Has really been, like, her times have been improving dramatically. Like, as we said, she's cut, like, almost, I think, more than 10 minutes off of her PB since the last tournament. So you can really see that.
It's just amazing how much you can improve in that much time.
So, I know I have cut 10 minutes off since then. And so she's finishing up.
I cut infinitely more than that because it didn't run back then. That's how math works.
That infinite time, Lurking Assassin, the God Gamer.
Exactly. And
on the left-hand side, SmashyLe is taking on the Misty mini-boss. This is a boss that has a lot of health, so we have to just kind of plink away at it with these lasers attacks here. What you're going for here as a speedrunner is you want to be hitting the magic number of 8 shots per time the boss shows up, because if you can get 8 shots per time he shows up, you kill him in 5 cycles. And if you miss any shots, suddenly he's going to have to go one more time of popping out, and you lost a handful of seconds there. SmashyLe did a pretty good job with the boss there, moving on, and is shortly going to be getting to Bash after she goes through one more room where she has a ghost door and collects a couple of keystones, and then the run will sort of shift into the mid-game phase once we get Bash.
And as SmashyLe is getting past that, getting to the Bash tree, Bash tree, Clean actually just entered Ginso tree. So I think he's not that much behind SmashyLe. It's still like anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, in general, like the split that separates them is like around 2 to 2.5 minutes long. So that's probably about what the delta between them is. It is starting to open up for SmashyLe, definitely. She's playing quite cleanly. The opportunities for time loss are ample in the rest of the run. So, certainly not decided in any way, shape, or form yet.
And SmashyLe is about to do her key duping attempt using some double bashes to get that shot up there. It's pretty well done by her.
Backup method. There's sort of an optimal way to just like redirect one shot into that breakable door with just 2 bashes, but doing it with double bashes instead is definitely a very clean and easy way to do it, which a lot of players seem to opt for. So you're going to see her collecting 3 of the keystones on the map here, place them in the door, take an intentional death, which will duplicate the keys for her, and then she'll do the room a second time and gain a total of 7 keys out of the 3 that are on the map.
Yeah, and that's just because we want to, mainly because we're not going to clean the water, and later on we're going to have to go through a door where the key fragments are underwater, so we can't get them. So that's just a way to avoid getting those keys in. And a third key that we'll also use later on in Sorrowfast that will just save us some time.
Alright, and looking like Cleanfel is on his mini-boss as well. Gonna just take him a little time to plink away at this boss. It's one of the few sections of RNG in the run because you can't tell which of the 5 positions he can spawn in he'll be going to, and if you don't stand near the place he pops out, you won't be able to get your full 8 shots in. So, it's definitely a small source of frustration for runners, but Cleanfel's through it. As long as you don't take a death there, it's not going to be a catastrophe, so nicely done. On the left-hand side, you see SmashyLe is teleporting out of Ginso. We've gotten everything we need here, and this is the fastest way to leave. She's now going to be doing a pretty difficult method of entering the area known as the swamp. Positioning a frog very precisely and using his shots to break some floors and some ceilings we otherwise don't have any way to do at this point in time in the game.
Yeah, that's like pretty much like the backup for not doing the Ginso escape, because the Ginso escape would just like kind of put us there, but with skipping that, you're gonna have to do that difficult move, and Cleanfel almost missed that key and jumped over it, but he did get through it. Oh, he didn't save
Oh,
before he died.
unfortunately, yeah, didn't get his save down when he attempted to go store, which means he goes back to the previous save before that, which fortunately only about a room and a half back. SmashyLe's swamp entry is looking quite good. She's got the frog in position. She's now going to use some double bashes to get this shot to break that roof above her while collecting the cell you see there. All right, grabs the cell, breaks the roof. She is on into swamp. That was very nicely done.
And Clean did get through the ghost door this time, and he's getting his bash skill to get to the interesting point of the round for himself.
So Bash is kind of a good approximation for halfway into the run, and at this halfway point, the difference between the two runners is maybe 2 to 2.5 minutes. And given the difference in their PBs, that is pretty much exactly what we'd expect them to do. So relative to their posted skill levels, both of these runners are playing about to the same level as the other one is. So nicely done from both of them here. Clean accidentally falls down into some experience there and takes a level up. That may have been unintended because that level up is it's used to refill all your health and energy before we go into the swamp entry trick. It's not that big a deal to take it here, but it is just really nice to know you have full health and energy going into that trick.
So I'm wondering if he's gonna opt to like skip the other 100 XP that we usually get to level up, or if he's just gonna go for it anyways, because he could save himself a few seconds by just skipping that.
And it is possible it's intended as well. There's a couple of 100 orbs you can take, that one of which being one of them that's pretty close to being as fast as possible, but just not quite optimal. So looks like there was a little bit of issue with the streams being desynced, but it should be fixed now. The players should be correctly spaced from one another on your screens. A quick work of the swamp and is now on the way to go do a trick called Kuro cutscene skip. It's a super precise bash you have to get on a shot from this frog here to try and bypass a cutscene trigger. She gets it nicely.
She's passed it perfectly.
Smashy's having a really, really good run here. I mean, she's only at 19 minutes and most of the way to charge flame. I mean, I have to imagine, though her PB has fairly weak early game, she has to be ahead of pace on that right now. So definitely, when we were saying we're looking for PBs out of these runners, SmashyLe is delivering right now. And I don't know clean splits off the top of my head, but I gotta imagine he's probably close to it as well.
Yeah, they both have been having a clean run, other than a few mistakes, like few minor mistakes by both of them. They're both like delivering some really good runs.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 20-minute charge flame from SmashyLe. That's definitely good enough pace to be able to beat her high 33.
It's got about like maybe a second or two behind her PB at the charge flame, I believe. So that's almost nothing. She could easily PB this. Well, I wouldn't say easily, but it's very possible. Really
no question. See that. And you can see Cleanfel, or rather you can't see because he was doing some blind movement. Cleanfel is now attempting his swamp entry. Really be a stone wall, especially for newer runners, because the positioning on this frog is quite difficult and very unforgiving, because if you mess it up, you have to go back to your previous save because the frog will not respawn over here. He's going to want to go back to where the game wants him to be. So, mistakes on this trick are really time consuming. Looks like he gets through
pretty cleanly. He only missed one shot, didn't lose him that much time. He is into Cleanfel swamp.
He makes his way up to Stomp. Keep your eyes on the left-hand screen. SmashyLe is in the Valley of the Wind area, which is particularly deadly. Now that we have, a lot of our important abilities, you've got air dash, you've got bash, you've got grounded dashes, we have to start going really fast here. And if you notice, like, this area is full of spikes and birds that want to kill you. SmashyLe took a little bit of damage there. She needs to be careful. And we also really want to save our energy right now because we're a long way from the game refilling it for us. So taking safety saves here is definitely something that has to be rationed super carefully. And SmashyLe, when she took some damage, did throw one down. She's doing fast Stompless right now. She's trying to race that shot before it breaks a cutscene trigger. She's trying to get over here to grab a cell. Looks like it is. She got it. And while we were watching that, Cleanfel had taken a death, unfortunately, and had to go back to redo his swamp entry, but is through it again and is now continuing on to grab Stomp as well. So some unfortunate time loss there. Maybe starting to slip away PB hopes with mistakes like that. again, does have a higher personal best than SmashyLe does. So in terms of being able to get a PB, can afford a few more mistakes than SmashyLe can.
Yeah, like with the timing that he has, like it's still very possible to PB pretty much like with multiple mistakes because like his timing isn't that like perfect. Like, I'm pretty sure his run like had a lot of rooms for improvement, so he could do it.
All
I'm
right,
really
direct your
hoping he
eyes to
does
the
that.
left-hand side of the screen. SmashyLe is at the largest sequence break in the run. This is Sorrow Bash. She's going to be doing some precise positioning with these birds to get her through a super lethal tight corridor of spikes here. All of those little spikes there will kill her in one shot and will kill the bird, which is the same as killing her because then she'll just fall right down into him. So she's got to make sure to juggle herself and the bird nicely. Get through first try. Super, super clean. That is really, really good. I don't care how good of a runner of this game you are, Sorrow Pass and Sorrow Bash specifically will always still be something that kills a lot of your runs. I mean, our absolute best runners lose runs to this section.
I also want to add that that frog down there is also notorious for killing runs.
Yes, he is. I think you may have lost one of that last night yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, kind of. I was a minute ahead. Anyways, SmashyLe's making her way down Pringles Parkway, and she's past that. And she's just gonna get through that door and get her charge jump.
So over on the right-hand side, Cleanfel was attempting to get up to that ability cell, but didn't quite manage to get up there with the same method that SmashyLe used by using a frog. So he did a backup. There's some enemies that shoot sort of slime projectiles out of the ground, and there's like a puzzle there where you have to get them to break these rocks in a sequence to unlock another new enemy. So he uses a couple of rocks to get himself up to that cell. So, you know, good heads-up play for him to know how you can back that up if you miss the frog. He unfortunately doesn't get Kuro cutscene skip, but, you know, it's a pretty tough...
It's a tough trick.
To skip it. Yeah, no question.
It's
People
very
do that all the
precise,
time.
and it's 17 seconds. It's a lot of time, but not as bad as other cutscene misses.
And SmashyLe over on the left-hand side is making quick work of Sorrow Pass. It's going quite cleanly for her, which is always a really good thing to have. I mean, it's an area full of spikes that are one-hit kills. So to get through it as cleanly as she's doing shows real good mastery of this game. She's now grabbing the Sunstone, which is the key to the final dungeon of the game. We'll have to go grab a couple more skills before we're allowed to finish the game, but we're just going to grab it now because we happen to be here, and we'll continue on to everyone's favorite area after she's finished with this. Misty Woods.
Oh yeah, Misty Woods is amazing. Especially the movement. I'm excited to see SmashyLe's movement because I haven't watched many of his runs. So I would love to see how she goes through that area. It's definitely very unique between every runner.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's so good about this run is it's so like your movement abilities are so powerful and so so like diverse that every runner has like their own personal take on every section of the game. Like, you know, people a lot of times will do certain optimal patterns, but then in some places they'll have little twists they throw into it.
Yeah, like everyone has their own uniqueness in movement, and like it just makes this amazing to watch. Like it's different between every two people, so you're like not watching just an identical run over and over.
And Cleanfel is skipping a very long cutscene there and will be headed into Valley of the Wind himself. You know, keeping up this nice good pace he's got going here, letting some of those early mistakes deter him, while SmashyLe just flies through Misty Woods here. You can really see the power of the charge dash ability. That's a level up to our dash skill that allows you to sort of do a homing attack at enemies. And it does cost an energy, but we can refund it by either bashing an enemy before it completes its animation or stomping before it completes its animation. So with those two techniques, SmashyLe's going to be able to extend the one energy she has to many, many different charge dashes, allowing this movement to just really go insane.
And she did have very good management with her energy. Like she pretty much didn't run out until the very end, where she intentionally ran out of energy. So good job at managing that, because any small mistake with the cancels could cost you an energy, and she doesn't have any of those. So.
All right, so while SmashyLe's putting on that symphony of movement, Cleanfel is making an attempt at fast stompless. This is really cool. He's going for this trick, which, you know, saves a handful of seconds if you get it, but is very costly if you miss. So very gutsy, but he's willing to do it very nicely. Looks like he's putting a save down and then takes an intentional death to reset enemy positions. He's going to line that shot up. The shot looked good. He now needs to get some very quick movement to the cell, and everything looks like it's lining up so far.
Shot is good. He should get it. Nice.
Very nice. Super well executed.
That's helpless.
Almost called it Kuro cutscene skip.
Yeah, I heard the K. I was like, I know where you're going with that.
Well, it's a cutscene and Kuro's in it, so I was like 2/3 of the way there. SmashyLe taking a really smart safety save there. That's one of the places that I like. I'm super fond of putting safety saves myself because this section right here, very lethal. Yeah, and she nails that rocket jump. So nice. That is really hard to get the positioning and timing for correctly to go up through all of those spiky meatballs in the shaft without taking damage there. Quite get the fastest kill available, but she wrecks one of the mini bosses immediately, and with some charge dashes, jumps, and stomps, she managed to finish off the second one. Looks like we lost Cleanfel's feed, or at least on my stream, he's
I think his
down.
stream froze for a little bit. Hopefully we could get it back up in a few seconds, but
fortunately, SmashyLe is in the late game, and she's going to be putting on a one-woman show, and you're going to get to see some really cool movement through here. We've gotten everything we need out of Misty Woods, that being the climb skill, and now she's going to go on, and we're going to teleport back to Blackroot Burrows where we got Dash, and we're going to get the last ability we need, or last skill we need, called Light Grenade, and then we'll be going on and finishing the game. So SmashyLe's just a few minutes away from finishing her run, and if she can keep up this pace, sealing out a victory.
And she is also I think she's still ahead of her PB, because she was 16 seconds ahead after climb, and she had very clean movement, so Smash is only a few tricks away from a PB, so hopefully we don't see any.
The biggest time loss she's taken so far in this split, I think, is the
Misty
mini boss as fast as possible. I don't know if she got it in her PB though, so that could be, not a factor in terms of her delta versus her previous best run.
She does also get the good cycle.
And using a save anywhere to skip the final cutscene that we'll need to skip in this game. Every other cutscene after this, we unfortunately have no way to skip, so we don't need any more ability points. We've gotten everything we need. She's now going to grab Light Grenade on to finish the game. She's going to have to go back to a teleporter and then teleport to Mount Horu.
Well, more specifically, Stormfeld Swamp. I really hope to see some more grenade jumps from her here, but I don't think she's going for any.
I know that there's a couple that she likes to go for, especially in Horu Field, so hopefully we'll see some out of her.
Yeah, for me, the more grenade jumps, the nicer it is to watch. She does go careful safety there.
Wow, really gutsy to go for that rocket jump there through the lane. If you have to wait, like she did for the Baneling to go past, it can mess up your laser cycles at the top of that rocket jump she did. And she just, went for it with it all on the line, got it correctly, got the movement out of there with the rocket jump super nicely.
And she's heading towards Mount Horu.
I sure hope Cleanfel is continuing his run behind this. It would really be unfortunate if he was, busy trying to work on tech issues and unable to finish out his run like this.
Yeah, hopefully he does just finish the run, just to get his time down. Smashy does run out of some energy, but she grabs the crystal and going for that last health cell just for the safety.
All right, looks like we are on the verge of getting Cleanfel back, hopefully. Tech issues being taken care of by our geniuses behind the scene who are experts on all things tech related. And she is going for the rocket jump here, very nice, or the grenade jump here.
And she does get it. Nice.
So clean. That looks so flashy when you get it. And she is now at the door to the Horu entrance and will be entering the final dungeon. And you might look at this dungeon and look at all that lava and spikes, and you think, wow, there's going to be so much cool movement here. Sorry, we're not going to see any of it. We're doing door work.
Here, dude. Reset the game. Do that one frame perfect input and gets to the final room of the dungeon.
That is a frame perfect trick. She gets a beautiful wrong warp there down to the bottom of the dungeon, and will now be doing the final escape. Peril. We have a long damage boost through poison water we have to deal with, so all that extra health we've been picking up, we need it now. And so any extra damage we're taking from spikes or lava from here till the end are extremely lethal and will end the attempt at the final escape. She'll have to exit and restart it.
Yeah, she cannot take a single tick of damage. That was close to her slamming through the lava. That scared me.
Guys, Mount Horu, SmashyLe was 1 minute and 10 ahead of PB. So if she can close this out quickly without taking a death, she's on ridiculous PB pace. Probably like a really low 33, I'd have to guess, based on where the timer's at right now. Potentially even a high, well, probably not a high 32 now, unless she can get this grenade jump first try. Got her cleanly, very nice. All she has to do is float up. She just has to float up and take the grenade jump trick here. Lurking. A jump going here.
First try in this perfect trick. Okay, she misses it. She can still
This is
do
a frame perfect trick. It is very difficult and has the potential to soft lock if your positioning is not perfect. And she's through with no soft lock. That is incredible. I think that's going to be around a 33-10, so that is really big. That's a PB by about 30 seconds or so. That's just really, really good. I mean, anybody getting a PB in a race is fantastic, but when you already have a pretty solid time like SmashyLe does, it's just really hard to do.
Yeah, definitely. I just love watching PBs on races because it just feels like a good run just becomes like 3 times as good because it's just more difficult to run under these nerves.
Yeah, I mean, it just to be able to get a good run when you know you have everyone on the stream watching you and under the pressure of a tournament race, that's so good. All right, so indeed a low 33 from SmashyLe. Being confirmed by the guys on stats. Very, very nicely done. That is an incredible run from her,
I believe.
So unfortunately, at least on my screen, Cleanfel is still down. I have to hope that he's finishing out his run and at least has maybe a local recording. It'd be really unfortunate if his run gets invalidated or if he has to, redo this or something like that. We'll have to talk to our guys who are on the tech side and see what we're going to do about this. Hopefully we can get SmashyLe in here for an interview and she can talk about, what it feels like to get a PB in a tournament race.
And a 40-second PB as well. So that's a big one.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed about SmashyLe is her pattern with PBs tends to be, she'll suddenly have these huge bursts of improvement. I don't think I've seen her PB by like less than 30-40 seconds at a time in quite a while.
Well, it's such an amazing thing to improve that fast then.
Yeah, I gotta improve quick or she's gonna bot me and she'll never stop giving me grief if she's got a better Ori time than I do.
See, every time someone buffs Truce, I will be happy. And I will buff him one day.
Forward to that day.
In front of everyone. Remember that. Truce will be buffed by me.
Alright, hopefully in the finals of Ori and the Blind Forest tournament in 2019. Let's see. Let's have that be where this is going.
I'm excited for that matchup from now. I'll see you there.
All right. So our tech guys are seeing flashes of Cleanfel's stream, and he is continuing to play, hopefully with a local recording. So by and see if we can manage to get his stream back.
And
right, looks like we're back.
We're back.
Looks like he is in Sorrow Pass, making his way through. Puns do we have for this area lurking? You got any ready to go?
I went with Pringles Parkway for this game, so we could stick to that.
How about Bugles Boulevard?
That works too. Anything chips related works. Thanks.
Okay, so Cleanfel gets his Terra Break and is working his way up towards the top of the Sorrow Pass area. Can't really see it too well because it's behind the save anywhere, but he's going to be grabbing the Sunstone, which again is the key to the final dungeon, and then we'll get to see Clean take his attempt at Misty as well. And like you were saying, Lurking, every runner has their own little unique twist on Misty Woods, so it'll be cool to see how he approaches the area a little bit differently than SmashyLe did.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that.
Whoop, looks like we're trying to get the streams fixed. I know that there was some issues with the timers being desynced because of the stream being down. Looks like we're trying to get that fixed here. So we're getting a little bit of the final cutscene of Ori and the Blind Forest here.
Double final cutscene, because it's a good cutscene, so why not watch it twice?
We don't get to see any of it in this speedrun, but honestly, Ori and the Blind Forest, it has a very simple plot, but it is still one of the most heartfelt and most genuine plots I've ever seen in a game. It is very, very beautiful to watch. Wow, while Cleanfel's stream was gone, looks like he did all of Misty Woods in about 20 seconds.
Wow,
Amazing.
I'm pretty sure that was the best Misty Woods of Ori's history.
Better than world record, without a doubt.
Amazing. Let's see if he can go through this area just as fast.
In all seriousness, there was some stream issues, and the Sorrow Pass we were seeing was behind and lagging.
Yeah.
So this is probably Cleanfel's correct pace here. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Misty Woods. It's a really cool area. What can you do? That's part of having live streams like this. Is occasionally tech issues happen.
Yeah, internet could any day could just kill itself, and you never know when to expect these things. He opts to not go for that. That was sketchy.
Unfortunately, takes a death on that laser. All the lasers in this area are instant kill. Doesn't matter how much safety health you have. So it's definitely an area that can kill you if you're not careful. And there's a strong incentive to go quickly through this area because these lasers are on regular timed cycles. And quickly, it will make sure you have if you can always get the same cycle on the first laser, when you come back, you'll always have the same cycle on the later lasers, and you'll know I can do my root movement that I've practiced. I know where the lasers are going to be. But if you miss a cycle, suddenly you're not sure where those lasers are going to be, so you need to second guess yourself. So you may have to go a little bit slower through that area.
Like definitely, if you don't get that perfect cycle overall, it's not that cycle only where you lose time, it's everything else, because you can't just go for I'm gonna rocket jump here and then just get lasered down.
Yeah, I mean, if you miss that first one and you go for that rocket jump, you could be rocket jumping straight into a laser that you don't have time to react to. Ooh, and Cleanfel throwing in the swag with the grenade jumps. That's what I like to see. Very, very nice. I love seeing a lot of these, newer runners who are still, adapting to the run, throwing in some of this swag stuff like grenade jumps. I mean, shows a good attitude about the run, I think, where, they're saying, I'm in speedrunning because I want to, do cool stuff. I want to do stuff that's flashy. I want to impress my friends. And, even if they're not, at world record pace, they're still looking at something like a grenade jump and saying, this is just really cool and I'm doing it no matter what.
Yeah. I personally go for them because they find it easier than doing actual, regular movement, but that's because I'm bad and I just learn how to do one trick and use it as much as I can.
Often would be so proud.
Well, sadly, I don't go for what's 20 seconds just yet, but maybe in the future.
And Cleanfel making his way out of the Blackroot Burrows area, taking a little bit of damage on the way out. He needs to be careful. There's a lot of enemies that do a lot of damage here. Another really cool rocket jump there. That was really cool.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one before.
That takes guts too, because he has taken some damage, and if he's not careful, there's a lot of spikes and stuff around here.
Stuck between the elemental and at least he did have a safety.
Between a rock and a hard place there, or in this case, a baneling and a laser. Arguably worse than a rock and a hard place. And now has to go back to his previous save, which fortunately was not too far back. Drops another one, and looks like he's gonna. Oh, okay. Opts not to go for that grenade jump. That is one of the hardest ones there, because you have that elemental they're shooting at you if you don't get it right away. Oh, he's gonna get another shot at it. Oh, doesn't get it unfortunately.
At least he didn't.
So he's
get
just gonna
down. He's fine.
Yeah, it could be worse.
He's for that one here. Yeah. Okay.
All right, he's opting to just make his way up to the Hoarder door. Normal way. Puts the key in the door, and after some loading, he'll get a chance to go for the door warp bypass of the Hoarder dungeon as well.
I'm expecting another first try here.
Yeah, we've seen a pretty good number of first tries. I know, when the tournament first started, a lot of people were getting high averages on door warp. And another first try, so nice.
That average is going down pretty fast, I believe.
All right, so first of the dangerous one-frame tricks right at the end. Now just has to execute the final escape and then the grenade jump.
And as we mentioned earlier, you cannot take damage throughout the entire escape other than the water section, so that just makes it just that much scarier. All
right, so you can see Cleanfel making very good use of those charge dash abilities to fire his way through these cycles here. There's a lot of areas here, especially with instant kill things that are based entirely on cycles. And so a lot of Ori's movement in these sections is about optimizing your movement and rationing your energy to make sure you're beating as many of those cycles as possible. And he's doing quite well. Now he has to make his way through the poison water here, taking damage every second that ticks by while he's in here. Gets out with 2 health to spare. Very nicely done.
He does not spawn Kuro, and he's going for that final grenade jump.
Ooh, falling down a little bit, setting up the final grenade jump here. Let's see how he does. Has to get in the right position, aim it,
And
gets it first try, but
that's awesome.
soft locks. Oh no, that is
He's gonna
so
have to
unfortunate.
retire escape. Good thing he caught onto it instantly, and he didn't wait until like the screen just blacked out.
Yeah, you can tell that the game has soft lock there because Ori will turn back to the left. What's essentially happening there, the reason we're grenade jumping is to get over the starting trigger for the ending cutscene, which is very long. And by grenade jumping over it, you skip the first part of it and just end up landing in the second half. But if you don't have the perfect position on your grenade jump, you get caught in that first trigger, and Ori tries to turn back and walk to where the game wants her to be, but because we've grenade jumped over there, she can never actually get there. So you'll just be caught in this infinite loop of Ori trying to get to a cutscene trigger she can never reach, and the game will not be able to finish. So he recognizes that he's in that situation, exits, and starts to redo the final escape here.
I wonder if he's
Loses
gonna go
probably
for
a minute and change. That's a good question. He's a little low on energy, or only has one, so he's gonna have a minimal number of attempts at it if he's having any trouble. But you know, he got it very quickly last time, so I have to imagine we're probably gonna see him go for it again if I had to guess. Avoids spawning Kuro once more, makes his way back up, and is gonna get his revenge round against Jump here. Sets up his position. Looks like he's pretty good position there.
He gets one more attempt at it.
Lining it up.
Energy Cleanfel, and he got it. No, he did.
Oh, looks like he maybe pressed a button or something while he was in there.
I think he might have let go of like the jump button or something. I think you're supposed to hold some inputs. I might be mistaken.
Not sure exactly what happened there, but he kind of bonked on the roof, and so he won't end up skipping the entirety of the final cutscene, I imagine. But at least he didn't soft lock, so he's going to have to watch a little bit of extra cutscene here.
But it's not a big deal.
Essentially finished.
It's just like 38 seconds or something, I believe. So it's nothing that bad.
Nothing too bad. He's just going to hold right. And unfortunately, we're not going to have a time for an interview with SmashyLe. We're a little bit backed up on our schedule. We have several more races left and have to, keep the schedule moving along. But I'm sure SmashyLe is super proud of this run. And, if I know anything about her, it's that, she's happy with the run, but, is probably going to be kicking herself for time loss and saying, oh, it could have been the 32.
That's everyone who runs this game, pretty much. No one's
I think that's just speedrunners in general. You have to have a little bit of perfectionist in you to be a speedrunner, I think.
I don't think anyone's ever been happy with a PB, either in this game or any speedrun.
Yeah, I think it's just really, it's cool that you could submit this race as your PB VOD. Like, having actual commentary over your PB run is pretty cool.
And we got final time from Cleanfel. I believe it's 44:41.
Stats, guys, to confirm our final time to make sure that timer is accurate. We're getting confirmation it is 44:41. So nicely done from Cleanfel there. Unfortunately, his screen was black for so much of the run. We didn't get to see a lot of how things went. So hopefully, he's got a local recording that maybe we can go back and watch another time. But, really good stuff from Clean. Very, very important improvement out of him. We're going to try and move things along here pretty quickly. You can see SmashyLe has advanced to 2-0 in her group with a pretty strong race time of 33:05. Sigma at 1-0 with a 30:21. Sarah Barron goes to 0-1 and Cleanfel at 0-2. So there's a lot of games left to play in this round. SmashyLe probably locking up at least second place in the group with this win here.
Yes.
Nicely done from her.
More than
and let's go ahead and forward to our next match, which we're about to get started. The next one is one of our most hotly anticipated runs of the group stages. It's going to be Richard versus Steinman. This is going to be super, super close. I mean, these guys are neck and neck, both very strong runners, a bit of a rivalry between the two of them. So if you are wanting a hype race, stick around. This is the one to watch.
Yeah.
Lurking Assassin.
It's going to be exciting because this is also what determines who gets first seed in that group. So it's going to be such a good game. So make sure you stick around for it.
Absolutely. Lurking Assassin, it's been a pleasure commentating with you.
Same as yours.
All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. Stick around for Richard versus Steinman.